The Mischievous Moonbeam by Cynthia Ridgard. Once upon a time there was a little moonbeam named Misty. He was a very mischievous moonbeam and was often in trouble of one kind or another. He didn't mean to be naughty, but somehow his most innocent intentions always turned out for the worst. The problem was that being the youngest and smallest, his brothers and sisters took no notice of him because he couldn't shine as brightly as them or shed his light as far, and he was always looking for ways to convince them that he was just as good as them, even if he was small. One early evening, waiting for it to get dark, he wriggled and jiggled and sighed and presently drifted off, poking his little nose in here and there amongst the clouds, but they also took no notice of him. So he sailed on and wafted quite a long way from the rest of the moonbeams, and when he looked around again, quite suddenly dusk had fallen, and the other moonbeams were beginning to spread long fingers of light over the countryside. "I wonder," thought Misty, "what would happen if I just scooted off by myself for a little while to see what I can see?" No sooner had the thought entered his head than he quickly slid under a bush to hide the light which would draw the attention of the other moonbeams to him. He lay there, smiling to himself, until it was safe to come out, and then popped in and out, up and down in the undergrowth, peeping under stones and into caves. There were all kinds of little slithery creatures under the stones and in the caves, and Misty was very curious about them, but they didn't take kindly to his invasion of their space and curled up into small brown and black balls so that he couldn't get a good look at them. "Oh well," he sighed, "I would have stayed to play, but I can't help it if you don't want to be friends with me," and off he went again on his travels. Presently he could smell the ocean and hear the sound of the waves crashing against the rocks, and over the next rise there it was. He was amazed at how beautiful and powerful the waves were close up, different from the smooth, glassy way the sea looked from above. Suddenly he spied a small boat in the distance. It seemed to be floundering in huge waves, and no lights showed on its mast. "That boat looks in bad trouble," he thought, and moved closer. He could see two men in yellow oilskins bending over the engine, and as he hovered over them they looked up and he could see worry on their faces. He moved down until his light was right on top of them, and his glow lit up the whole deck of the boat as brightly as day. "Thank goodness for small mercies," said one fisherman to the other. "A little light is all I need to fix this engine." Misty puffed up with pride and shone as brightly as he could. Soon the fisherman gave a grunt of satisfaction, and there was a roar as the boat's engine burst into life. "Thank you, little moonbeam, for helping us," they shouted, waving as the boat began to chug away. "Without your light we would have been in a pickle." Misty was filled with a warm glow. He so enjoyed being a little helper. Gliding on back towards the land, he looked for somebody else to help. When he came to the seaside settlement, he could see a small boy running up and down the beach, plainly looking for something. He had silver blonde hair and was wearing a red jersey, so he was easy to see in the dark. As Misty drew nearer, he could hear the boy calling in an anxious voice, "Spot! Spot! Good dog! Where are you, boy?" But there was no answering bark from the dog. Misty moved further away, scanning the bushes, and soon he came upon a wire fence where the missing dog was caught in the wire. No wonder the poor dog could not hear his master. Wasting no time, Misty dashed back to the boy, but he couldn't speak, so how could he let him know where his dog was? Then he had an idea. He shone his light into the boy's eyes so that he had to shade his face, then moved away. He did it again and again until the boy realized that Misty wanted him to follow. Misty moved slowly so that the boy could keep up, and led him to the place where his puppy was trapped. Thank you, Mr. Moonbeam," cried the boy, tears rolling down his face, "for helping me to find my dog. I would have been searching all night if it wasn't for you." By this time, Misty was a little tired from his adventures and wanted his mommy and daddy, so he shot off into the air, higher and higher. "Mommy, Mommy," he cried, "I had such a wonderful adventure. I saw centipedes and millipedes with hundreds of legs, and I helped save a fishing boat, and I also helped a little boy find his lost dog." Misty's mother smiled and hugged her little moonbeam. "Oh, I'm so proud," she told him. "Soon you'll be all grown up and be able to stay out all night with your brothers and sisters." And as for his brothers and sisters, they were secretly a little envious of their small brother, who had had the courage to venture into the real world and enjoy a special adventure, and from then on they treated him with a lot more respect.